Hey, welcome to Karen's Kitchen. Today we're going to be making meat sauce. Meat sauce starts with really good meat. You can use a combination of meats. You could do all beef, veal, pork. For today, what I'm using is fresh ground sirloin. I'm using a leaner cut of beef because I'm also putting in ground pork. So the porky richness with the lean beef, it's going to come together great. First, you want to start with a hot pan. Get it nice and hot. I like to put a little oil in it first to just get that heated up nicely. And then I like to put in my vegetables first. So I start with the onions. And you want to just, get those moving around a little bit. Make sure to season the onions by themselves before you add anything else. I'm going to use a little bit of ground sea salt. You can use table salt, you can use coarse salt, whatever you have laying around. I just happen to like the ground sea salt. And we're going to use some fresh ground pepper. So just give a few grinds of that in there because you really want to get your onions nice and seasoned. Okay, then you can either use fresh garlic or you can use garlic powder. Either one, it doesn't matter. So you want to take about a teaspoon of fresh garlic and put that in with the onions. And you want to stir that around real well. You just want to cook it until the onions start to get clear. You'll see when you're cooking them, they start out white, and then after a few minutes, they'll get nice and clear. As soon as those turn clear, then you want to add your carrots. This is about 4 carrots, and that was 1 large onion. There's about 5 stalks of celery in here. So you just want to get those all nice and incorporated. So once those are all incorporated, then what you want to do is get those softened a little bit, and then what you want to do is add your meat. What you're doing is your meat's going to flavor all those vegetables real nicely. Turn your heat all the way up, and then you just want to break this meat up with your spoon and get it spread around the pan. As it starts to cook, it's going to soften and break up. So you want to cook that until it's brown. So now, once the ground beef is crumbled and cooked all the way through, usually there's some grease at the bottom of the pan. So you just want to quickly pour it into a colander and make sure you get that extra grease out. All right, and you just want that to drain for a minute or two. So now that your meat is drained, you want to put it back in the pan. Get the pan nice and hot. So now what you want to do is once your pan is back up to heat and you hear that sizzle again, you want to take about 1/4 cup of red wine and just pour that at the bottom of the pan. And let that sizzle again. You want to stir that wine in and let it simmer for about 2 minutes to cook the alcohol off. Then, after you've added the wine, you want to take about 1/2 can of tomato paste and put that right in there. What the tomato paste does, and the reason that you use tomato paste, is tomato paste has some sweet in it. And so you want that little bit of sugary sweetness without adding any sugar. So tomato paste gives it that little bit of sweetness that everyone loves in meat sauce. So once you have your tomato paste stirred in, for today I'm using tomato sauce. If you like a chunkier meat sauce, you can use chopped tomatoes. You could use the tomato sauce, tomato puree. If you use puree, you have to simmer it a little bit longer. So then you take 2 28-ounce cans. I use 2 pounds of meat, and so it's about 1 pound of meat to 1 can of sauce. I use 2, so I'm going to go ahead and put both of those in there. You want to let this simmer for about another 20 minutes to a half hour. Once it comes to a boil, put it on a low heat and let it go. Now we've got a good simmer going. We've had this on the stove for about 20 minutes. And now is when you want to taste for your seasoning, salt, pepper, So just give that a quick taste. And some people like more salt than others. So you want to just give a quick taste. Yummy. I'm going to add a little bit of pepper. I happen to like it a little spicy, so I love to put a little bit of the red chili flakes in there just to give it a little zest. You can finish your sauce with fresh parsley, with packaged parsley. I like to use oregano because I like that little zest that oregano gives it. So you want to just put a couple dashes of oregano in there, whatever herb you like to finish with, and let it simmer for another 20 minutes, and you have the best meat sauce you've ever tried. Mamma mia. Bon appetito. Today I'm going to teach you how to make marinara sauce. This is a foolproof recipe that I brought back from the hills of Tuscany.